high ball. Will it have the carry? It does, but it doesn't have the distance for a behind.
His first score of the afternoon on the back of 8 goals won last week. It's a great level of football. Zach Dawson's come off 7 being kicked against him.
He's looked okay, hasn't he? The kid obviously has got some character that we might know about. He's certainly recovered himself very well.
Jacobs. High ball, Everett, Blake over the top. Dawson at the front, couldn't quite bring it down. Rook and Dawson go hard again at ground level. Enright tries to spin through Hodge, no easy thing to do. Ball ricocheted back towards Hodge. Dawson keeps it alive to Campbell. Hawks have backed themselves in all day. They've backed their teammates. They've run to support and create. Lewis's kick was well weighted. Dixon's got it inside the square. Wide open forward line. Williams starts at the top of the goal square. Mitchell working hard. Bartel will cut it off. This is where Geelong have got a counter punch. Can't do so. Johnson taken down. Crawford to Ladson from 40. This would be a big goal. A big goal. Ladson kicks the goal. The first of the final term. The margin 27 points.
Oh, what a wonderful effort by Sam Mitchell. He ran forward, they kicked the ball over his head, it sat up, 3 Geelong blokes came over the top, one of whom gathered. He was up off the ground to put a tackle on, ball spilled, Lewis gets hold of it, gives it over to Ladson, and we've got one of the best setups come again from a defensive effort by one of the good little small blokes in the game. Sensational.
Don't tell me that.
Where ball's going to come back.
Almost could have been a reversal, I reckon. The game was well over. Mooney put Crawford down with a real slinger. Totally unnecessary in my opinion, and the umpire could have reversed the decision.
And you could see from that vision, Trent Croad had already stopped, so the whistle had clearly gone. Enright's kick was poor. Bateman couldn't take the mark. Lewis sweeps it backwards. They've been poised under pressure today, Hawthorn. There's Crawford.
Yes.
And that'll be 50.
Look, what's happened in the last little while, there have been enormous number of errors and balls coughed up and landed short, but every time the recovery's been done in numbers by Hawthorn, usually 2 and 3 versus 1 Geelong player, they are not working hard enough to win this game.
Was that late to warrant a 50-metre penalty? It wasn't much in it.
No, it wasn't much
touch
in
and
it.
go.
They've been doing it. They've been doing it, JB, for the last few weeks.
That one was pretty much line ball, Schwatter.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think you've got to encourage the player.
Here's Hodge, set play. Hodge gives it everything and bangs it through. Shane Crawford, Luke Hodge worked it beautifully. Crawford knew he couldn't go the journey and he knew Hodge could. Magnificent kick post high.
Every week it happens. If it's not Hodge, it's Loney. If it's not Loney, it's Dew. They stand there waiting to second, but no one wakes up to it. I find that hard to understand at this level. He's the one sucking there just to do the job.
It's going to be a free kick. It's going to go Hawthorn's way for a touch above the shoulder. And I think there's going to be another kick. I think there's going to be another kick.
No, it's going to head back to Luke Hodge, who was dumped after he got rid of the ball. Tempers are starting to fray here for the Cats.
It is. It's going back.
Oh, the locals.
So who does he give it off to then?
No, go back and kick it.
He'll hand pass it over the top to himself and put it through.
Shows what he's confronted with. Luke Hodge squeezed the kick to the top of the square. They'll fly unannounced. Robert Campbell all alone. Mark Blake ran underneath the ball. And it is unravelling very quickly here for the Cats at Skills Stadium this afternoon.
Well, win, lose or draw, it'd be very hard to say the Hawks aren't on the right road. You know, their form for the whole of the season, the 3 games, despite dropping 1, has been very, very consistent.
Well, I'm for one. Sign up Alistair Clarkson as of now. Get it out of the way, Robbie Campbell for a goal. Sneaks it through, and the Hawks have kicked the last 7 straight.
Interesting point about Alistair Clarkson. I generally tend to work to the theory, David, and unless you're concerned that another club's going to poach your coach, what's the hurry at re-signing him?
I reckon that's probably smart for a point of view. What Hawthorn are doing, and really a season needs to be reviewed. It needs to be reviewed, not halfway through or whatever. I just hope they're encouraged. I think what they've said publicly, Hawthorn, would have been, and what we don't know what they've been saying to Alistair privately, but I'm sure he'd be pretty happy with the circumstance.
Robert Campbell kicks the third goal of his 35-game career, and 39 points is the margin. Geelong have won 17 of their last 19 here, don't forget, since the last round of 2003. Cardinia Castle, the walls are coming down this afternoon. Mitchell. Hawks have got a real taste for it. Dixon. Geelong's pressure is dropping off the last couple of minutes. And here comes another one. Brown hurt himself, but he'll get up and kick for goal number 3.
Chase, let's not just talk about work ethic and how hard they've been and how athletic it's all been. They've played the better football when in control of the ball. They've worked hard to get it back. They've presented in numbers. They've done all the things that you like. But in terms of the actual tactical and the playing of the game, they've been in another level all day to Geelong, right from the start to now.
They've dominated clearances. Their skill level's been fantastic. They've moved the ball better. Campbell Brown for goal number 3. He's got it. And so have the Hawks. 45 points the margin. This is one of the best wins under Alistair Clarkson Hawthorn's had. Been right up there.
And conversely, we still take anything away, that conversely, the first worries that the Geelong Football Club have faced, I think, in the last quite a few months. They left last season suggesting they were going to be a powerhouse. They've started this season this way. This is, in a sense, a deplorable effort, and that's not taking any away from the Hawthorn Footy Club.
Well, they'll front up player, Jordan Lewis, defensive 50. To Crawford, they continue to work the Hawthorn players. Crawford with the cramp. Guerra, he's enjoyed himself this afternoon. Leading possession winner.
I think he might have done a hamstring, actually.
29 possessions, Guerra, towards Mitchell. Got his finger on the ball, couldn't take the mark. Crowed on his hands and knees. John Barnes will be all over Shane Crawford coming off there with what could be a cramp, or David Parkin suggested possibly a hamstring. Everett to Clark. Goes inside forward 50, bouncing ball. Williams in front, Hunt with pressure. Loose ball spills free. Clinton Young stood in the tackle to cap off a great day for the Hawks. Won't make the distance. Ladson! Terrific mark, running with the flight of the ball.
You do a Wayne Swasey or run round his left foot and ram it home.
Well, let's hope so, David. It wasn't a noted goal kicker. Opens up the angle, finish it off, and does. Rick Ladson gets his second goal of this fourth quarter. And the Hawks extend the margin.
51 points. It was 21 at three-quarter time. Hawthorn have come out and kicked 5 goals to Geelong's 2 behinds. Remembering Geelong have got the breeze.
Yes, it'll be a massive disappointment by the numbers that have been filing out the gate for the last 7 or 8 minutes would suggest that they feel exactly the same way. I think the Geelong club in total, coach, players and supporters would be very, very disappointed with this particular performance.
51 points the margin, 21 and a half minutes gone. Final term on Fox Footy Saturday. Campbell, another beautiful tap to Lewis. It's been an exhibition around the stoppages today for Hawthorn. 34-18. Here's Ladson. They're cashing in now, the Hawks. Osborne's turn. Another one. It has been one-way traffic.
But straight out the middle again. I mean, have you ever seen a supposed touted grand finalist get belted in the both upstairs in the ruck work and downstairs in the clearance? They have absolutely been mutilated in that aspect of the game.
I think what it shows, David, is the fact that you've got to be on your game every time you come out to play. And if you're playing against a side that on paper you should thump, doesn't matter, because if you've got application, you've got determination and a willingness to work, you'll win a game of footy.
And we've kept wanting and waiting for it all day, and it hasn't occurred, has it?
First possession out of the centre today, 14